Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Rocko and the Comrade. This is the Comrade, also known as Jonah, which is my name.
And this is Patrick, also known as Rocko.
This is the first podcast that me and my friend Patrick are doing. We've wanted to do a podcast for a while. This is something I think we've been talking about for maybe about a year or so. And the reason why we kind of want to do this is, the podcast game, it's rising. As you know.
And
Um,
at this point, why not try to do it?
Yeah, like people like Bert Kreischer, Joey Diaz, the great Joe Rogan, Chris D'Elia with Congratulations. There's so many great podcasts, but
Did you
we
mention the Dawn?
who's that by?
Joey
Wait, who's
Coco
that by?
Diaz.
Yeah, no, I mentioned Joey. Yeah, no,
Oh,
Church
you
of What's
mentioned
Happening
Joey?
Now. Yeah, no, he was him, Joe Rogan Experience, the Bertcast. Those are all the guys I idol when I do this. So we're just trying to get up there in the podcast game. I know we're just starting out, but hopefully, this will be an enjoyable one. We hope everyone will enjoy this. But Patrick, you got anything to say for now?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm almost like learning like I'm like a samurai or something, to be honest. No, seriously, hear me out on this, right?
All right.
If it's a samurai, you have to learn to become a samurai or something around that time, correct?
Sure.
I think of this as learning to be a samurai, meaning learning to be like a geisha of or a kamikaze of the podcast game. Now I know that sounds really ridiculous, and in all honesty, it probably sounds incredibly self-indulgent, but
I think it's funny. I get where you're coming from. I'd do it more of like a ninja with the blade of the warrior. And ninjas I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. But no, I completely understand where you're coming from. We're doing this because we kind of want to. It's a good way for us to kind of just always express what's on our minds. We're a very talkative bunch when we're together, and we always just have a bunch of stuff to talk about. So, I don't know if there's anything on your mind that you want to start off talking with, or
actually,
just
yes.
anything. What's up?
Okay, so you're mentioning the ninja thing, right? And
Sure.
one thing I've
Yeah.
always noticed, why does the ninja always have to wear it's like a headband? You know what I'm saying? A ninja always wears a headband, right?
Not all the time. No. Wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah. No. You know how most ninjas are portrayed when so they are usually always in like a full bodysuit, but the only thing they can see is like the slit in their eyes. Everything else is like covered up, except for maybe their hands. But like that's usually what to me when I was growing up, that's what I always portrayed a ninja as is you can't see anything but their eyes. Hence the name like silent assassin. Because you can't see anything. They're not gonna talk. All they're gonna do is just stab, stab, stab.
Do you think that plays a role into the power though? Because think about it like this, right?
Sure.
If all they can do is they can see everything about you, but everything about them is being concealed. So I feel like it gives them more power. It's saying, hey, I have the ability to discern and see everything that you're doing, but the only thing that you can see is my eyes. And so they say eyes are the window of the soul, correct?
Yeah, no, I've heard that plenty of
But
times.
but does the fact that all they can do is see they can see everything about you, I wonder if that gives them the advantage. I feel like that has to give you a mental advantage when you see every other thing about a person, but they can only see one finite aspect of you.
I feel like the thing that have them only showing their eyes, I think it's more of like an intimidation factor. It's like you really don't know who's under that body, but all you can see is their eyes, and eyes can tell a lot about a person. If you really look into the eyes of someone, you could probably tell within a few seconds, maybe of what type of person this is, whether they're happy, maybe a little sad, depressed, maybe sometimes, or just strange, psychotic, or mysterious. Literally, if you look into someone's eyes for a while, you can tell exactly what they're thinking of, maybe what type of person they are. But I feel like the eyes are probably the strongest weapon of the body besides I yeah, no. Yeah, no. Bleh. eyes are the strongest weapon of a human because they're dangerous. You don't know what kind of emotion they might be giving. Hence why they only just show the eyes. They don't even show the eyebrows. So you can't be like if they're a furrowed browed, expressed, even scared, because you can see if someone's scared just by their eyebrows. But just by showing,
Really?
yeah. I mean, if you raise your eyebrows, like, oh no. Obviously, audience can't see that, but I raised my eyebrows and did
No,
a
no, no.
shake hand.
But if you think about it though, it does give them a lot of power and control because you can. I think the way you look at someone is much more imposing than say, okay, say you see someone that's like really tall, right? You
Sure.
know, if they're like 7 feet tall, you'll be like intimidated by them. But I'm much more intimidated by the person that's like 5'3", staring at you super heavy because you don't know what they're capable of. They might punch you in the balls, you know. They might they might attack you. You have no idea. So it really kind of comes in because it's like the way people are depicted. People don't even as a society now.
Uh,
People feel uncomfortable when other people look at them, and it's a weird thing. It's like people have no problem staring at a cell phone for 12 hours a day, but as soon as someone looks at you for like 2 seconds, they like look and they immediately look away. And it's a very peculiar thing. And I noticed another thing too.
yeah.
Okay. So I'll be out in public, and it used to be okay. Just say maybe people our age were the ones that were doing this, but now I even see old people getting obsessed with their cell phone. Old people are playing like solitaire, all these things, and old people play a lot of games
Well, I mean, the
on
reason
their
why
phones.
I mean, I mean, the reason why I think old people are now like on their phones now, it's the new norm. I mean, they have to start learning about how to use some of the new technology. I know they're not like really used to it and stuff yet, but I mean, that's the stuff they're kind of living with nowadays. I mean, it's gonna be difficult for them and stuff, but I mean, like sometimes they gotta learn and just all that stuff. I mean, it's better for them to learn, I guess, new stuff than I guess kind of just sit there and be like, I have no idea what's going on.
It'd be a defeatist mentality. It's like basically saying, you know, I'm old, whatever. I might as well roll over. It's like you're not a dog. This isn't the
No.
dog days of summer.
Well, no, I get that. Also, on a past point about like speaking of like if someone's taller than you and with intimidation, cool story was a few summers ago. I think the summer right before I was about to be a freshman in high school. Me and a few other kids were on this. It was a kind of like a pre-study abroad program, and we went to Italy for a month. And during that, after we were in like our last week or something, the weekend we went to some remote beach or something like that. And then as we're like towards the end of the day, one of the kids is like, "Oh, I think that's Juwan Howard in this jewelry shop." I'm like, "You're kidding." So as we're going there, like we peek in, and I'm like, "Oh wow, that actually is Juwan Howard." So I go up to him, and me being the 5'11" white kid that I am, I look up and see this 7 foot tall basketball player in front of me, and I'm just like, "Hello, Mr. Howard. It's an honor to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I would like to possibly get a picture." But seeing that picture, I've shown it to so many people. I'm pretty sure you've seen it a few
I've
times.
seen the picture.
He's like a full, like, half chest over me. He's like a full foot or so, like, ahead of me. And I'm just like, it's ridiculous just looking up to a person and be like, "Hi, how are you?" Like, it's one of the most intimidating things, but he was one of the nicest people about it. So, I mean, he obviously was there with his wife and stuff and some family, but he didn't mind like a few Americans coming up and stuff like that. Nice guy, part of the Fab Five in Michigan. So that was that was something.
Where was this? Was in a jewelry store, or
Yeah,
this was in?
this was in a jewelry store in Italy. I don't remember exactly where we were in Italy, but we were like towards the end, and we were literally like this happened like an hour before we all like finally left to go back to like our main hotel and all that stuff. But like it was crazy because one of the kids was like, "Yo, Joanne Howard's in the jewelry shop," and literally no one gave two shits, but only me and two other kids were like, "Oh, this is so cool. Let's go see him," because they were sports fans. So I'm like, it's a celebrity. I know who Juwan Howard is. Might as well go and get a picture. Maybe I ended up getting that. So I mean, it was a good payoff.
You know what I've noticed about you? For a long time, you have this penchant for getting pictures. You always go up to these people and ask for a picture. I mean, it was Twan Howard, it was Aziz Ansari, it was Jeff Ross. I mean, it's like you were like a picture magnet.
Oh no, it's crazy. Yeah, no, literally, like that's what the door guy at one of my internships said. Like he's like, "Man, you must be a celebrity magnet." I'm like, "I
The
guess
Pick
I am."
King.
Like, I mean, that's the perks of living in New York. Like being in New York, you get to see so many celebrities because there's a lot of celebrities that actually live up here. Like during my internship, I got to meet one of the creators of The Simpsons. I also got to meet Bill Burr, one of my favorite comedians. I got to meet the guy that played Ralphie from A Christmas Story. All three were,
What?
yeah, all three of them were at
No,
the
you,
same
I
event.
never heard of this one. Okay, first
Yeah,
of all,
no, this
back
happened.
it up, back it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, The Simpsons one, I would
Zach,
have died.
Zach,
I would have
Zach was
literally
even mad about
died.
it. Zach was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, wish you were still at Hofstra in New York, doesn't it?
Sucks to suck, but oh my god.
Yeah, no, that was like incredible because it was all for the F is. Have you seen F is for Family on Netflix?
Awful show.
No, it's not. It's a
One of
great show.
no. Hear me out on it. Hear me out on it.
I'm listening, but I'm gonna yell at you after, so just be ready.
I'm prepared for that. What is it about the show that's not been done before? Okay, we got a cantankerous dad. We got some bratty kids. The whole concept, I mean, it's been done about 150 times. We'll put in some crude animation. Ooh, voila, put Netflix's name on it. Wow, I must watch it. I mean, to me, I see it and I go, it doesn't really catch my eye. It's
Here's the
nothing,
thing.
dude.
Do you know what time period that the whole show takes place?
70.
70s, around 60s, 70s. Yeah, it's not modern day, and it's mostly based around the guy from The Simpsons, like the way he grew up. It's all based around all of their lives together, like how they grew up. That because I went to the panel where they were talking about how the show was created, why it was created, all different things of it, and the when they finally like explained everything, I'm like, all right, I actually see like the point of the show. I did because hear me out. When I first saw it, I'm like, cool, it has Bill Burr, but I'm like, that's about it. That's the only cool thing I found.
That's about
But when like they showed us season 3, episode 1, a month before it even came out on Netflix, yeah, people, I got exclusive access to amazing Netflix shows, courtesy of the Pele Center.
hit his line, ladies.
No, but no, it was incredible. Like, but I guess getting back to some of the people I've met, I mean, yeah, you were shocked. One of the people that works on F is for Family is the kid that played Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Who's he play on the show?
He doesn't. I don't think he plays anyone. He's a writer slash producer on the show.
Oh, okay. Wow, he sustained a level of success,
Because
surprisingly.
at first, like, people were outside with like pictures of Ralphie from A Christmas Story. I'm like, why would they have pictures? I don't even know what he looks like now, and I'm pretty sure he's not here. But apparently, he like walks in, and one of the security guys is like, "You should go talk to that guy over there. Maybe say hi, introduce yourself." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "You'll see." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, "Hi, I'm Jonah." He's like, "Hi." I obviously don't remember his name off the top of my head. And I said, one of my security guards told me to come over to talk to you for a reason. Is there any specific reason why you're here? He's like, well, I'm one of the producers for F is for Family, but I also have another important role that I've done in television slash film. And I'm like, could you give me a hint? He's like, it has to do with snow. And I'm like, I literally couldn't think of anything off the top of my head.
That's
He's
a
like,
bad get. That's a bad hint.
it really was, but I'm like, I'm like, there's so many movies that have to do with snow, and I couldn't think of anything, and I said Krampus. I, s-
Krampus.
I saw that movie, and I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, no, but that's a great movie. I'm like, really? You think so? He's like, yeah, no, I kind of liked it. I'm like, I thought it was kind of a little cheesy. But he said, and then he literally he pulls out a fucking picture of Ralphie. He's like, do you know who this is? I'm like, yeah, that's Ralphie from A Christmas Story, one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time. He's like, see any resemblance? And I like look back and forth of him. I'm like, not really, no. He's like, I actually am Ralphie. Aging
I'm
hasn't
like,
done well to me, and I'm like, don't say that. That's bad. But like, he was a really nice guy. I was able to get a picture with him. But I guess if you want, I'll go after that. A few other people I've met. Obviously, Seattle finally has an NHL team. During the NHL, when I was in the city again for the internship, at the NHL store right next door are the NHL offices, and apparently the owner of the Seattle team slash like GM and I think someone else of it um, were there doing a press conference, and I actually got to talk with him and get a picture with him and stuff like that, which I thought was cool. I've got to meet Tim Meadows, former SNL cast member at Union Square or Washington Square, Daryl Hammond, another SNL cast member, Jeff Ross, as you said. I got to meet Seth Meyers too over the summer. Like I've met Gary Bettman. I mean, it's crazy.
how do you think someone gets involved on SNL? Two things.
What?
And then the second thing, when you met the Seattle owner,
What was the first one? I didn't hear that.
how much money do you think they cost to get in? Because they must have spent a lot of money. And I've always wondered those two things. I'm
I'm
looking at
thinking
my,
maybe it's 8 figures, maybe.
you
It
think
has,
8 figures?
it has to be at least a billion because it's like thinking of arena cost, then all the financial stuff that goes into it with hiring everyone to work for an NHL team, like not even just staff, but like people that work at the arena, people that help out with finances, marketing, all that stuff. It's basically like a business almost.
It is a business, but I mean, I've always seen it as more so a cash grab because you have to think about it like this. If a team is going and getting and entering a league, they're being ingrained, right?
Yeah.
X amount of money when it's an expansion fee, that money has to go to the league. Like, think about when Vegas did this. Vegas paid, what did Vegas pay? $1 billion?
I
I
don't
want to
know
say
that off.
Vegas paid
I
like
can look
a
it up.
billion. And it's like, okay, maybe Vegas can think about it as we can make up that money. But what if you were, say, in a city and, okay, not to be disrespectful, but say you were in a city like Raleigh. If I'm
Uh,
in Raleigh, go nah, tell me, how much did it cost?
apparently it cost them 500 million. Was the most costly in NHL history thus far by a long shot.
500 million.
Yeah. And apparently, back in 2000, like usually expansion fees were 80 million for Columbus and Minnesota. So it's jumped up a lot since then. But the next one apparently is saying it could cost 600 to 700 million. So Seattle's going to be paying a lot.
And it's $700 million just to get in. That's like say, okay, you know when you go to the club and it's like you pay the cover, right? And it's
Yeah.
$5. That'd
Yeah.
be like say it went from we're paying $5 to get in to we're paying $50 to get in. Saying even it goes from 80 million to 500 million, right?
No, that
That's
was
still
2000 to 2019. They're basically saying for Vegas, it was 500 million. That was the latest expansion team since Minnesota and Columbus. Those were the last two expansion teams since Vegas. After those two, it was 30 teams. Then Vegas became number 30. And so basically, obviously, the NHL, it's gained in so much popularity. The business has grown a whole lot. They're making a lot more money than they used to, and also money's worth more a lot now than it used to be back then. So I mean, to put in another team, it's going to cost you a lot because that's also going to mess up a lot of other stuff in the league itself with having. First of all, you have odd number teams, 31 in the NHL. Like, what team will Vegas go? Well, obviously they're going to go to the West, but then that would give them more teams. Who's going to move to the East? Like, it just basically causes enough problems as it is. And
The,
after Seattle got theirs, I just don't think there should be a 32nd team.
well, that would be 32 teams.
Well, with Seattle now, there will be the 32nd
But
team in 2 years.
my thing is this. One thing I've always noticed is living in the US, like you see a balance. You see, like in Canada, they're fervent about hockey, right?
Yeah.
In Mexico, they're fervent about soccer. The
See.
US is kind of has interest in both. And I know what a lot of people say, but I think that interest is kind of balancing out. The reason I say that is because I know you're gonna cap me on it, bro. Hockey is a really incredible sport, but it just I don't know. Hockey kind of feels like that, like you're like sisters, like Romanian husband.
What?
And here's why I say that. It's like, yeah, he's part of the family, but it's like not really. It's kind of foreign. You know what I mean? And that's why like soccer and hockey aren't super popular.
I
They're
mean,
popular, but it's not like when it's an American-made sport. It's like how cricket is in the UK. Cricket was created in the UK. Cricket's hella popular in the UK and throughout former British overseas colonies, etc., etc., etc. But it doesn't have that sticking impact in the US or in other places that weren't under its sphere of influence.
uh,
And also, it's cold as hell in Canada. So, of course, they're going to be able to have that advantage. They can be playing like hockey year round, bro. When I was over there, they had rinks everywhere. You know it's big when even freaking Drake grew up playing hockey, man.
well, I mean, Canada is where hockey is basically originated. I mean, that's where a lot of the stars of today, they're mostly born in Canada. I mean, yes, you're getting a lot of more European, a lot more USA born, but to go back onto the point where, yes, I do understand that hockey is not as appreciated as other sports. Main reason being is America's sports are football, baseball, basketball. That's it. The only dedicated fans like hockey, but God bless those fans. But I mean, it's all about basketball. It's all about the football, Super Bowl, the World Series, like the NBA championship, LeBron. It's all about them. Hockey doesn't get enough credit in the US, and that's a thing that I know a lot of hockey fans like could possibly agree on because ESPN just they could care less about hockey. It's all about the other sports, but to be honest, I don't watch ESPN anymore. I don't really follow
It,
ESPN because
it's unwatchable.
it is, and they're just a garbage company. Because a few years ago, when they had that mass loadout of a bunch of like employees where they fired at least like 100 or so employees, I'm like, what company would do that and lay over at least over 100 employees? Like, that's terrible.
Well, and what makes it surprising is, okay, a lot of companies will lay someone off because a machine can do your job, right?
Sure.
But the simple fact of the matter is, they're a company that's selling entertainment. What ESPN does, ESPN is selling convenience. ESPN is saying, we're going to have some charismatic, affable people, put them on air, tell you all about sports, blah, blah, blah. They're going to be the ones that are going to convey this information and you're going to want to watch, right?
Sure.
They lay off all these people and it was like, for what reason? I mean, the simple fact of the matter is ESPN has the advantage of being in sports. The simple fact of the matter is people don't own people don't pay for cable anymore. People only have cable just to watch sports. Because otherwise, what's the point? You and I, we could watch our favorite movie, TV shows, any of these things. Boom. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever, Crackle, whatever you want to use, it's there. So the only reason to do it is for sports. And ESPN's whole thing is they made it to where it was so self-indulgent. And even now, when I turn it on, and if I see someone like Stephen A. Smith, I am switching channels so fast. I'm like speeding like a cheetah, bro. I can't switch out fast enough.
Oh, jeez. I
I
almost
hear
pulled out my
that
headphones.
strong New York accent, and I'm like, yo, I'm done. No, thank you,
I mean,
please.
the funny thing about Stephen A. Smith is I follow him on Facebook, but the only reason why I do that is I just love how much of a comedic act he is. Your brother Tim, he despises Stephen A. Smith, but just the stuff he says about him is so funny. He's like, I don't respect Stephen A. Smith. He's such a clown. And I'm
He
like, 'cause
is a
I would always send him videos of like Stephen A. Smith just like rubbing in the Cowboys' face. I'm like, yo, Tim, aren't these hilarious? He's like, man, those aren't even funny. That's just disrespect. I'm like, it
disrespect.
is, but it is funny though. He is doing a good job of making Cowboys fans angry if you're mad.
It elicits a response. Everything in life is based upon eliciting a response. Even like think about something as the most simple, basic response in human language. Okay. You just like Stephen A. Smith, all his whole act is I'm gonna say something outlandish. You're gonna think, wow, this guy's a clown or he's a dweeb. Okay, he doesn't care. He's getting a check. He's saying crazy stuff, and it's like it's really like sports and those types of people are the same thing. It's the same exact thing of just, hey, I'm gonna say something crazy and say something dumb. Let's see how you respond.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I mean, that's really why I don't follow politics that much because it's mostly just people talking, and I'm like, do I
Why do
really
they
care
give?
about what you have to say? Not really.
And they give. Oh, I've noticed that a lot of times. Whenever someone really wants to sell you something, like anytime I see a politician, same smile on every single one. It's like this Chucky like smile, like you're about to kill me type
It's like
of
the Joker
smile.
smile. Everyone probably has a Joker smile underneath all their makeup, I feel like.
I think so. They have to because it's like how, and the problem is, how is it that you're expected to remain all happy and effervescent when it's like you're around people 24/7?
No, I
It,
completely agree with that. Yeah.
Here's another thing I never have understood.
Hit me.
Okay, you'd go on the campaign trail, and this and that. Why do they have to kiss a baby?
Because, I mean, it's showing America their soft side. I mean,
I mean,
it's a
I'll give
typical thing that's most politicians, I believe, have done. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, even in the campaign, the funny thing, it's a movie with Will Ferrell and Zach
when he punched
Galifianakis.
the baby.
Yeah, where he punched the baby. He was going in for the kiss, but instead Zach was like making fun of him, and then instead he like goes and punches for him, but Zach moves, and then boom, baby gets punched, and I'm like, oh, if only that could happen in real life.
That would be complete and utter career suicide. If you hit a baby, okay, here, this is going to be my new job as a political strategist. Rule number one to winning the 2020 election: all you have to do is not punch a baby. But it's just like I see these things, and the other thing I notice they like to do now is the let's put on a faux town hall thing, right? Where it's like, let me get all these diverse people and like, let's get all these ideas and this and that, and we'll put everybody in a town hall and we'll ask them like simple questions. They never answer the question, right? And the answer is always like every answer is deflecting the question. It really is an art, I must say.
I have no idea what's going outside of my room right now. My roommates are playing the Grinch music.
Someone's about to get jumped.
They're playing Ed, Ed and Eddie right now because I hear them both whistling.
Ed, Ed, and
So,
Eddie is a trash show.
nah, dude, it was so great. I thought it was just, it was a great show. I liked it. It was weird, but it was one of those funny shows, I thought.
How do they conceive these shows on Cartoon Network? Because you watch, I watched Cartoon Network the other day. Couldn't watch it.
I mean, the stuff that comes on Cartoon Network now, it's just unwatchable. I mean, eh. I mean, I don't know.
Yo, I cut my audio.
Yo, we didn't